Okay, so what your boy wanted to talk about was the Gen 3 Hayabusa and the quick shifter. What I see commonly on the forums, I think I saw it maybe in a few other YouTube videos. Again, the conversation around the quick shifter, and does it have like an issue or some sort of problem from the factory? From my perspective, I'm gonna have to say no. I've had other bikes with quick shifters, and I'm pretty familiar with them. And from what I see, being confused with like an issue or some sort of problem is it's really just the quick shifter, especially in mode A. You have to kind of interface with it or interact with it or shift with it, whatever you want to say. You have to use that quick shifter in a very specific manner. I'm going to try to slow it down here in the school zone. A little grass in there. So anyway, with the Gen 3 Hayabusa, man, it's picky, especially again in mode A. It's very picky. When you're in mode A, I mean, if you're on that quick shifter, you really have to be, you know, on and off it, on and off it, on and off it. You cannot just be lazily shifting up and down on that quick shifter. Again, you have to be on and off it, on and off it, because again, that's the whole intent and purpose behind being in mode A. You know, it's an aggressive mode, or at least more aggressive than mode B, which allows you to be a bit more lazy on that quick shifter, to be a little bit more, you know, casual on it. It's more for that around the city type of interaction. What happens if you get on it a little bit right there. So what happens if you are on it lazily and you're in mode A, again, which is the most aggressive setting, the most aggressive mode. And again, that's just the default modes. I'm not talking about if you go in and switch the U1 settings, whatever, because whatever, we'll get into that later. Specifically talking about mode A. Again, when you're on mode A, and let's say you don't abide by those rules that I stated in the beginning, you're gonna get what feels like, you know, it's like a delay, or it's cutting time and like really bad. The bike falls on its face and then it comes right back alive. And that's what I call, see if I can pull over here without falling. It's hella rocks right here. There we go. Ugh, so many rocks. I forgot. I just cleaned my chain. Oh my god. Oh, whatever. Still a good spot. You know what I'll do? I'll actually turn this off. Alright, so anyway. So if you're, again, in mode A, you're not shifting the bike based on the parameters that you said. Again, you're selecting mode A. This is the most aggressive mode. You're supposed to be on that shifter and off it, on that shifter and off it. I think even the sensor itself, it'll feel like, I think you're supposed to even kind of kick it a little bit harder. And this is from what I read in the manual. You're supposed to, you know, be not so gingerly with it as well. You got to really be, you know, on it. Mode B is a little softer in that regard. Like you can not only referencing like being lazy as far as like how slow you move, but how, like, the pressure that you use to shift up and down on that shifter as well is going to be affected by that setting that you select. And so again, doing that incorrectly or doing that, shifting one way or the other versus what you've selected is going to cause that delay. It's going to cause that feeling of, it falling on its face or its cut power or what have you. And I don't think that's necessarily an inherent issue. Can those things be improved with, let's say, with the BT Moto Flash? From what I heard, yeah. I think the cut times are shortened, so I think your input will count kind of less, or you have technically more room for, what is the word? It's like right on my tongue, maybe error, whatever. But that cut time is improved with that Flash, which I don't have currently. I do have the full Acura exhaust, but I haven't gotten around to flashing it yet, which I will do shortly. But again, and I'm not meaning to ramble, man. It's my first video, guys. I'm just wanting to, get a start on it and address this one topic at least, because I see it so often. And for my other bikes, the first one being, let's say, an MT-09, that had a quick shifter, which was very good. Not quite as good as the Busa, but what I've learned on that bike, or what I did learn on that bike, is you have to interface with that quick shifter, just like this, in a certain specific manner. When if the RPMs are not like continuously climbing, if you're being slow on the throttle, slow on the shift, that bike can fall on its face as well, or have that sensation of falling on its face. And again, that's just from, how you interact with it. So again, it's one of those situations to where it's not the arrow, but it's the Indian, if that makes sense. So I mean, maybe if you're just having that issue, try to consciously make an effort to shift, like in mode, let's say mode A. Make a conscious effort to, all right, make sure those RPMs are climbing, make sure they're building. I'm not just like lazily, giving it gas. I'm not too low in the RPM range. I'm kicking that shifter up. I'm taking out the preload, kicking it through, getting off it. I'm not dwelling so long on the actual shift lever itself. And, see how that goes for you. I rarely have that issue. If I do, it's warranted. Like, I'm being lazy. I haven't, it's my first ride of the day. I haven't woke up all the way. And I wasn't paying attention really to what I was doing. But again, that's it, man. I just wanted to throw this video out there into the proverbial ether and see what you guys think. Hey, I'm not trying to say that I'm just 100% right. This is just my personal observation. This is just, what I've learned from my observation, my experience. I mean, again, share your feedback in the comments, man. If you had the same issue, or I say issue with quotations, but again, drop it in the comments, man. I'll get up with y'all guys later, man.